Hi, once again it's Ben here from Beneficial Massive, where you the masses hopefully benefit from my reviews of video games, accessories, TV shows and movies. This week we've got something big gorilla pimpin' going down with this X-rated, pimped out 70s historic period drama TV series called The Deuce. It's almost like a documentary, I'd say. When you watch it, you feel like you're actually in that era. Not that you'd know unless you were alive then, but it gives you that real rough and rugged and raw feel of hookers on the New York City corners, and you can't help feel some kind of authenticity when watching it. The set designers must have gone all out and had fun doing this show because the sets and costumes are crazy. I actually peeped it all last week and thoroughly enjoyed it. To be honest, some of it was a bit in your face, but maybe I didn't want to see some of the scenes. But that's what you'd expect from David Simon and George Pelecanos, who brought us the likes of Oz, The Wire, The Treme, which all have out of any TV shows in the history of TV shows, probably have shown the most roughest and rawest footage, and like I said, some of it's in your face, but it's a great story and presented beautifully. One word to probably describe it and sum up the look of The Deuce would be dank. So, The Deuce first aired on September 10th, 2017 and was made by David Simon and George Pelecanos, who, like I said, brought us The Wire, Treme and The Oz. And then also another entity who made this series wonderful was none other than James Franco himself, who executed, produced it, and also not only plays the lead male role, but plays his twin brother too, where they use some pretty cool camera techniques on their viewers. The Deuce also stars Maggie Gyllenhaal, Jabenga Ikingaby, Chris Bauer, Gary Carr, Chris Coy, Dominique Fishback, Method Man, and more. The production company, distributor, and network The Deuce was aired on was HBO, of course. What other premium quality channel would deliver us such a gem? Each episode of The Deuce runs for 59 to 84 minutes, and in that time there's never a dull moment. But actually, if you look at the people's lives in The Deuce, yes, it's New York in an exciting time, but I think for the real-life people who this show's based on, their lives would have been dull and depressing. Hard times, a struggle. That's what the show's about. Girls who feel like there's no other way of making it, so they turn to prostitution, which from society's view from the outside looking in, is pretty depressing and sad. I mean, it would be every parent's worst nightmare come true. The Deuce was produced by Jessica Levin, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Mark Henry Johnson. So let's get down to what The Deuce is mainly about. What's at the core of this exciting yet sad story? It's basically about the soaring rise of the porn industry and legalization of it in New York at the beginning of the 1970s. The name The Deuce comes from a famous well-known nickname that was given to 42nd Street between 7th Avenue and 8th Avenue. So without giving out any spoilers, but to be honest, you can't really spoil this show. It's not one of those types of shows, but it's basically about a sex worker named Candy who eventually finds her line of work too dangerous, so turns to the now legal emerging porn industry, and also twin brothers Vincent and Frankie Martino becomes fronts for the mafia with their businesses, a pub and a brothel. The critical response to The Deuce has been fantastic, receiving critical acclaim. On Metacritic, it scores 86 out of 100 based on all of its 34 reviews. In my personal opinion, The Wire is the most underrated show ever made. It's probably in my top 5 shows of all time, and The Deuce is just as good, if not better. And Season 1 has only just begun this ride. The show has been renewed for a second series, so it's going to be an interesting where this ride takes us. I'm a big fan of rap music, so seeing Method Man pop up with a perm was a big highlight for me, and of course he kills it, playing Rodney, just one of the many pimps. And also, among the pimps, if you didn't recognize him, was Black Thought of the Roots. And I'd never seen him doing any acting, and he not surprisingly kills the role too, as he does on the mic on more than one occasion. Some of the biggest things besides sex, drugs and violence on the minds of the creators of the Deuce was what unchecked capitalism looks like in this very specific microcosm. Who's hurt? Who benefits? And how can the state keep the playing field level, if at all? The three biggest warning signs the Deuce looks at for those that haven't watched and should are: number 1, this is a show about the porn industry and sex workers. Number 2, it's set in the 1970s New York ghetto. Number 3, it's made by the guys who brought you The Wire. That alone should definitely reel you in. Another thing, it comes across as a bit of a blaxploitation in parts. Or it could reel you in how cleverly the series turns this one neighborhood into every neighborhood, into an America that's trapped by its own desires and inability to fix so many broken systems that intersect over and over again in ways that destroy and too rarely rebuild. But really, I should just tell you, watch it. It's impeccably acted, written and directed, and no matter how ridiculous a series about the 1970s porn industry with two James Francos might sound to you, this is somehow not just the best possible execution of that idea, but the most thoughtful one too. It's probably the best show this year by a wide margin. So if you haven't seen The Deuce yet, definitely go watch it. It's a good one to binge watch or just watch an episode here and there. But I'd recommend watching all of them as quick as possible. I'll leave a link in the to the trailer in the description, and thanks to Wiki for being an awesome place to reference for info on this super cool show you should go watch now. The Deuce. No worries, and that concludes this week's review on Beneficial Massive. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm Ben from Beneficial Massive. Please hit subscribe and like. Hope you're all good. Cheers again for watching. See you soon. Peace.
I like this